last weekend, Joe and I got in the car to go to Northland to buy something. I don't remember what. The details are, well, I was going to say they're not important. They are important. If you're telling a story, it's made of details, isn't it? And this story has already, like, I've already fucked it up. Why did you go to Northland, Sean? Well, maybe I went there because I think it's so cool. I used to hate Northland. I used to think it was terrible because it's one of those giant enclosed shopping centre things. They're terrible. They're the death of everything. But in the horrible world we live in today, see what's happened, right, is the world has become worse and worse and worse every year of my life. I've watched it happening, and in that time, these shopping centres have stayed the same. So the world, it's like a graph. Shopping centres don't change. They're the same. Those big enclosed shopping centres, they stay the same. But the world gets worse and worse and worse. And we're here now, we've been here for a while, where the worstness has caught up to shopping centres. And then, actually, no, we're past that. And now the shopping centres up here. We're down here. So a shopping centre is like a good place to go to now because you'll see actual. In fact, you know what? I was going to say there's reasons why it's good. No, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to list any of the reasons why it's good. It's not good. What I'm saying is the world is shit now. The world is terrible now, and it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, the thing is, when I say the world, um, I mean, I mean the Western world. In Vietnam, uh, apparently they're on track to eradicate poverty completely. So that's pretty amazing. In China, the people there don't have access to the same internet we have. So I'm going to move to China because the thought of not having access to the internet that turns everyone in the West into a raving lunatic sounds good to me. I'm moving to China. This has been enough freedom for me. Thank you. You call it freedom, brilliant. This is liberty for you, unreal. Have at it. It's all yours. I'm moving to China or Vietnam. Maybe I'll commute between the two countries. Who knows? Maybe I don't have to choose, half a year in China, half a year in Vietnam. I haven't thought this through. I'm very far away from logistics. I just understand that the country I was born in is cooked and it's never getting better. Uh, every country that Australia has an alliance with is similarly cooked. The United States has just announced through its Department of War, that's a real thing, Department of War, that they are going to wage war on the entire Western Hemisphere of planet Earth. That's very cool. Yeah, that's right. It's not. It's bad. Everything's going to get much worse. I mean, look, last night I sat there with my wife and I watched some content about the latest Epstein revelations. And I said to my wife, I'm going to entertain the possibility that this could be where the wheels fall off for Donald Trump. This could be where his shit comes to a fucking end. Stranger things have happened. In fact, it wouldn't even be strange. What it would be is something normal happening in a world that has become not even strange, just boringly. You know how like a crazy person is boring when they talk? Like they've got all their crazy ideas about what's going on in the world and how they're interacting with it, but it's not like you're not sitting there going, "Wow, this is great. Keep going. I'm so interested." No, you're not. It's boring. That's the world we live in. It's boringly crazy. So we were going to Northland to shop for a thing. And we arrive and oh, before we left, I saw this jacket hanging on the bedroom door, and it's been hanging there since we moved in 3 years ago. And I don't reckon I've worn it for 5 years. It's out of style, you know. It's out of style, And I thought that jacket would be the perfect jacket for the weather we've got at this exact moment. It would be perfect, but it's out of style. It's not going to go with the rest of my outfit. How am I going to make this work? And I thought, well, it's not going to work. It's not going to be visually appealing, but I'll be physically comfortable. So I'm going to take that gamble. I'm going to take that risk. And also, I didn't tie my hair up. I just let it down, which on a middle-aged man who's got long hair, letting your hair hang down. Same goes for women, actually. Men, women. If you've got long hair and you let it hang down when you're middle-aged, you look like the mushroom killer lady. That's the only look that's possible. You have to do something with your hair. It's not enough to have, I've got magnificent locks. No, that doesn't work, because your face is saying, I have suffered. I've been around the block. You can't get away from that. Get amongst it, get into it. Don't hide from it. Stop lying. But I thought, okay, I'm not going to tie my hair up or do anything like that. I'll wear a cap. So I put on this cap, like a baseball cap type cap. I put that on, I put on this jacket. Now we're in the car. Now we're driving to Northland. Now we're arriving at Northland. Now we're looking for a car park. We see a car park. My wife stops because, well, there's going to be a car park. A person is getting into their car. They're about to leave. So they're going to back out and drive away, and we're going to drive into that spot. So my wife stops. She indicates. She turns on the indicator. We've stopped. We're indicating. We're taking that park. Simple so far. And then what happens is, coming from over here, one of those giant mega utes, one of those monster truck, steroid, penis ball bag utility vehicles, hoves into view. Great big black one, clearly also indicating that he's going to take that spot. And my wife waves at them, waves at this driver. No, we're taking this spot. This is our spot. We were here first. You were here second. It's our spot. And suddenly also, well, now we're a team, me and my wife. We're a team because we're looking at that truck and it's like, okay, I understand that for a lot of tradies and that you get there's all sorts of incentives to buy these vehicles, and in a way they almost twist people's arms to buy them, but no one's twisting your arm to drive these things around hyper aggressively, which many of the people who drive these vehicles do, don't they? You notice how aggressive they are. There are so many bad driving habits post-pandemic. One of them is, if you drive one of those idiot steroid penis trucks, you accelerate a lot. You do a lot of accelerating very quickly, very aggressively, and it's frightening, really. It raises the tension all around, because if one of those things hits you, you are turned into a smoothie. The other one is that now people reverse into parking spots, particularly in shopping centres. People didn't used to do this. It takes them a lot longer to do than simply driving in. So everyone has to wait for this person while they painstakingly reverse like a massive shithead into this spot. And we're all thinking, can you fuck off, cunt? Another one is pulling out of a parking spot, a parallel park on a high street, and doing a U-turn straight from that spot, doing a U-turn, block, and in the process doing a lot of blocking of traffic, like very rude behaviour. And what I'm saying is that what's happened post-pandemic, I thought it was exaggerated, but no, now I understand that everyone needs to die. Everyone needs to die, and I'm not going to volunteer to kill them all. I've got things on. Maybe if you could, that could be a project for you. Kill everybody. So we pull into the parking spot that's contested now. We pull into the parking spot. My wife's driving, reminder. I get out of the car first, and these guys get out. They climb down out of their Sookmobile, the driver and his passenger both. I don't know why the passenger has to get out. I don't know why he's so angry, but he arcs up. They climb down out of their sookmobile and commence having a little whinge. They have a little tantrum. These dudes in their giant bloke-mobile have now failed the test of going to the shops without having a little tanty. These men are babies. And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, you've gotten out of your ute and now you've raised your voices and you're saying that's our park, you've taken our park. And I'm thinking, all I can think is this is Northland Shopping Centre, where not that long ago there was a big machete fight. Not that long ago, Nazis turned up in the middle of the night, but Nazis turned up and did one of their Nazi stunts. Not that long ago, a dude drove a four-wheel drive vehicle through the middle of Northland, which is a big enclosed shopping centre. He could have killed loads of people. He killed no one because everyone in Northland is aware that shit could kick off at any moment. And so they didn't stand around looking at the approaching vehicle and thinking, well, that's not real. That can't be happening. No, no, no. They dive rolled out of the way. Everyone's ready for action. These dudes arced up at us. They're yelling. They're yelling at us about this parking spot. And there's all these people around and they're all tensing up. They're all frightened. They're frightened because what's going to happen now? And I'm thinking, this is Northland. Are you seriously doing, is this shit going to escalate into a bloodbath? And in the middle of this, the passenger says to me, take a look at you. You're a scumbag, which confused me. Scumbag? What do you mean? Look at me, I'm a scumbag. Don't know what's going on there. But he was so angry that what I did, because he was angrier than his mate, I was able to say to the driver, this is the right thing, this is a good move. I said to the driver, sort your mate out, like that. And they then got back in their vehicle and they drove away. But it was scary, you know. And we went into Northland and I think we might have even forgotten what we were there for. So we went and had a coffee and sat, and I stewed over this because it was frightening. I thought I was going to go to hospital, you know what I mean? Thought I was going to go to hospital, and then we're having a coffee and I'm thinking, we have to go back to our car. Oh no. Oh. And also I went to the toilet and I had a wee, and I saw myself in the mirror and I saw my hair, hat, jacket combo paired with the rest of my outfit, and it didn't work at all. The look didn't work, and I looked at it and I went, yeah, I do look like a scumbag. He's right. So I'll give him that. I'll give him that we're driving a 20-year-old hatchback which needs a paint job. You know, it's got dings and dents and little tiny cracks and what have you. A 20-year-old car that has never been given any kind of a makeover. But we love that car, you know. But okay, so I get out dressed like this. Passenger, a woman is driving me around. I'm dressed like this. The car doesn't look impressive. Yeah, I'm a scumbag, and you're a good guy who loses his mind over a parking spot. Anyway, but I'm having this coffee, and I don't say this to Joe, but I think, Jesus Christ, are we going to go back to our car and then be hacked apart with machetes? So I take my hat off and I tie my hair up and I take the jacket off to try and change my appearance, you know, enough to buy us maybe a couple of seconds as we're getting back to our car. And it wasn't until later on I thought, fuck, if you're that worried, why were we going back to our car? We could have got a taxi home. Fuck the car. I'm not dying for a 20-year-old hatchback. What the? Anyway, I don't think I was thinking straight. I don't think it was. I was very. Anyway, we go back to the car and we see that these guys. They have parked just about 3 spots up from us, 2 or 3 spots up from us. So what's happened is they've jumped out of the car. They've been mad at two people, a middle-aged couple. These two young men have yelled at a middle-aged couple, which that's embarrassing. They'll have to spend the rest of the weekend telling each other stories where they come up with a version of events that isn't incredibly embarrassing for them. Have yelled at us, abused me, and driven off in a huff. And then they've driven around the little bit of the car park 2 or 3 times, and then oh no, there's a park, mate. Yeah, get that park there, buddy. Here we go. Oh, lovely. We're parked. And then they went into Northland with their machetes and they killed everybody. Anyway, that's the thing that happened last week. And young men. I hated young men before I was a young man and while I was a young man, and I still hate them, and they haven't changed. They're exactly the same. They create situations they can't get themselves out of. Once they jumped out of that ute, it was like, well, we've 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 been hot-headed. Our feet have touched the asphalt. How do we back down from this situation that we have created? I had to do it for them uh, by giving them a little job to do, by saying, sort your mate out. I embarrassed one and gave the other one a little task, something to keep him busy, so that he would leave me alone. Or at least I think that's what happened. Maybe they just decided, maybe they looked up there at the front of Northland and saw the word Northland and went, oh, that's right, we're doing that here at the machete place. Maybe we need to calm the fuck down. I don't know. Anyway. I'm the end. Thank you.